gas.
Welcome back, guys. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to widen your Tri-Star Azusa two-piece style rims from the skinny style slick that it normally comes with to a nice fat juicy slick. I'm going to be using an 11 by 6 by 5 inch used go-kart slick, and for the spacer I got a 1.5 inch spacer for the 5 inch diameter rims. You will have to get longer bolts. The ones I'm using are just under 4.5 inches long. Now, to get the wheel to sit flush with the spacer, you're going to have to grind down the alignment nub or notch the spacer. I chose to notch the spacer because I didn't want to do any permanent damage to the rim. As far as the valve stem goes, pick the side you want to use and then rotate and adjust the inner tube to where the valve stem pokes out of that hole. It's not centered, but it does work. You're only rolling the tube about an inch or inch and a half off center, and once you fill it with air, it only cares about filling up space. First, line up where the valve stem is going to go, and then make a mark where you're going to notch the spacer. You're only notching for clearancing. It doesn't do anything for alignment. It's just to make sure the spacer sits flush with the rims. After notching the first side of the spacer, you're going to want to install it on the rim and align the second rim on top so you can mark it to where the next notches are going to go. I found using a roll of tape keeps the studs from falling out when I turn the first rim upside down. I'd like to note that the spacer that I received was slightly smaller in diameter than the wheels. I'm just hoping that it's not going to cause any issues. I've got the second side notched up, and now I'm just mocking it up before I install it in the tire. To make the install easier, I did use some duct tape to hold the spacer onto the wheel. On the wheel with the spacer, install your sprocket adapter, and I use a t-shirt to hold the studs in place while I held it against the floor to mount the top side so that way the studs can protrude the second half of the rim. I used my body weight to hold down the tire and installed the nuts by hand. So far everything looks good and the spacer doesn't seem to have come out of place. Double check and make sure your valve stem is still aligned and not pinched. Next, torque down the nuts on the bolts. Make sure you tighten them down one by one slowly before giving them the final tightening. Now when you fill it with air, make sure you pinch the valve stem with your finger so that way it doesn't slide back into the wheel. I'm pretty happy with how it came out, and I don't notice anything out of alignment or any crazy warping. I'm gonna wrap up the video here. This is my take on how to install a spacer on a two-piece Tri-Star wheel to accept a wider width tire. It is my first time doing this, so if you have any criticisms or knowledge to share about how I can do this better, please feel free to throw them in the comments below. I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video.